Hello everybody, welcome back by a new video, and today it's time to talk about this Philips 45 watt CPO bulb. So apparently, but I didn't really know this before either, this bulb's only used in Europe and not in the USA, so I think this might be pretty interesting, especially for the American audience, because it's quite a neat bulb. So Philips produced this bulb just whenever LED was coming up, around 2010 I think. So this was probably the last conventional light bulb that has ever been made. And some cities actually decided to replace all their streetlights at around that time with CPO instead of LED, because at that time this thing was as energy efficient as most LED fixtures were. And these also have a very good light quality, just like some better LED fixtures. But most light bulb companies just kind of moved on to LED, while Philips was still kind of promoting this bulb here. And because of the LED, I think this bulb has never really been a success. They are quite common in the Netherlands, but I don't really know much countries wherever these lights exist as well. But let's actually take a look at the bulb. So on the base there's some information written here. It's called CPO-TW. It's a 45 watt bulb. You have these bulbs in 45, which I think used to replace a 70 watt high pressure sodium. You have a 60 watt, you have a 90 watt and a 140. So the light color is 628, so it's a pretty warm white. It's warmer than most fluorescents are. And this is kind of the base of the bulb itself. As you can see, one point here is a lot bigger than the other. So inside here we have the thing that glows, very similar to a CDO bulb as well as CDM bulb. And on here there's this little point thing here that keeps the entire thing together. And let's take a little look at the socket. So as you can see, one of the holes here is a bit bigger than the other, because you can't really screw the bulb in both ways. Just have to twist it a little and then it's screwed tight. The sockets are quite sharp, and actually this bulb is pretty sharp too. And this is the bottom of the socket. I wonder why this thing has been made out of metal. Very odd choice for a socket. And this is the ballast that were used. Forgot to mention that Philips called these bulbs Cosmo White. That's their marketing name. So CPO 45 watts, pretty easy to connect, nothing too special here. It's also the ballast design that Philips still uses nowadays for most older ballasts. So this is an electronic ballast basically. And let's connect the thing, so it doesn't really matter wherever you put the wires going to your light bulb, as long as you connect them to the gray parts of the ballast here. And also your mains don't really matter as well, so it's easy to connect. It doesn't really do much, but we'll ground the thing. So let's screw the bulb in. Of course we have to. So you just put it right into the holes here and then twist it a little bit. Now it's tight. I recommend you not twisting the bulb right here, because that's very sharp, and I actually cut my fingers a lot of the times because of these very sharp bulbs. And let me get a nice camera angle, because it's quite an interesting bulb. So let's turn this thing on. So it starts out very bluish. Startup doesn't really take very long, but yeah, first it turns blue and kind of greenish. Startup is quite similar to a mercury vapor as well, and this bulb is pretty harsh to the eyes as well. It's very bright, but it takes a little bit of time for it to actually turn more warm white. And so this is what the bulb kind of looks like on full brightness. And for only a 45 watt bulb, it's pretty bright. It's clearly a lot more energy efficient than most of these types of bulbs. A lot better than CDM, for example. The thing is that they do get really hot, especially the bulb itself, since it's a very small tube. Just like with the CDM bulbs, they don't have to really be turned on long to actually like really hurt and get really hot. So yeah, Bannister doesn't make a sound or anything. It's a very quiet bulb as well, which is great. And I think it's still, even though it's pretty much a failed experiment, still a very high quality bulb. So and let's turn the bulb off to end the video. As you can see, it's still red and it stays like that for a while since it gets really hot. Turn the other lights off as well. So yeah, I'll have to wait with unscrewing the bulb a little for it to cool down. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say about the CPO bulb. So thanks a lot for watching, let me know what you think about it, and see you in the next video.